What's going on, guys? K-Dub here with another episode coming straight to you from Paris, France. Not exactly. I'm actually in Vegas, guys. We're down here for an event. This is the beautiful view that we have. Sometimes you can see the water, the little water features actually start to go off. But what I want to talk about today, guys, is everything that is going on in the cryptocurrency space. Because yes, the Bitcoin price is technically quite boring right now, but we're actually seeing some major pushback start to happen. In fact, Elizabeth Warren is out again, and now she's got the banks behind her. Plus, we've actually started to see some Bitcoin censorship. Yes, that's right. A measly little Bitcoin book got removed from MIT's library, taken down from Amazon without any reason, and now they're shutting down all bank accounts of more crypto people. So things are getting very crazy, but they are starting to fight back, and that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about how the tides are shifting, how they're changing right now, and how there is a big moment for Bitcoin that is coming right now, and we can see it on chain right now. We have the data, we have the proof. Exchange values are at the lowest that they've been since 2018. Something big is brewing. Here's everything you need to know, and I'm going to try to make this video a little bit quick because the internet here is absolutely terrible. So let's dive in. Let's go inside because it's hot as heck out here. So Bitcoin obviously does continue to go sideways, and yes, the markets are very boring. You could see we're still sitting at that neutral level. We were neutral last month. We were neutral last week. We were neutral yesterday. We are neutral today, but as we've been talking about, we are looking for a potential big move. Now, right now, you will notice that we are still respecting this falling wedge pattern. We are putting in lower highs and lower lows. Of course, this is on the lower time frame, right? On the higher time frame, we can obviously see that we've been putting in higher lows and higher highs. And this right here technically is a bullish pattern. But of course, if we cannot get above this area that we're sitting at literally right now, then yes, we do have a very small target down here at around $28,300. You can see there's a little bit of kind of interest right there, although I would take that with a grain of salt because that is on the smaller time frames. Of course, right here though, something I did just want to mention, if we have a look at this right here, there's a few things that we can look at, right? You could argue that potentially maybe this was a bit of a cup and handle starting to break out, but another way that we could look at this too, because you know, there are more than one ways to trade. There's more than one way to look at the chart. There isn't like a 100% be all, this is the perfect, way to chart Bitcoin or whatever. You could see right here, you could argue that potentially this is putting in a bit of a head and shoulders pattern as well. And you could say that right here is the neckline, and the neckline is lining up perfectly with the bottom of this level right here. So ultimately, we're really just going in an upward slope, and until this trend actually physically breaks and we put in a lower low, meaning we come lower than about 24,800 right here, right? That would mean we're putting in a lower low. We've actually broken this upward structure. Then as far as I'm concerned, everything is still on track. And again, if you do look at the target for that, it does bring you again up around that $47,000 to $50,000 area, which we do have our zones up here. Again, we do have a CME futures gap at 35,180. And you can see we perfectly touched this retest right here, right? That was a nice perfect retest of where we started to, the open of this gap right here. So again, as I've been saying, these Bollinger Bands are the tightest they have ever been. Can you guys see right here? This is what I'm looking at right here. Look at this right here. And look at this right here. Look at how this level, and actually, let me just put in something so you guys can see a little bit better. I do have to make sure to keep this video quick or I'll never be able to upload. But right there, you can see that that does represent the lowest level. So we are ready for some huge volatility. And again, as I've been telling you guys, we do have sort of a sandwich between this right here. Where the heck is my drawing tool? Right here. We have this 100 coming down here, and we have this 200 coming up here. Now, you don't, if you come down here, you don't really want the 200 to move above the 100. That actually has never, ever happened in Bitcoin's history, and that would not be the greatest thing, but what you are looking at is this potential golden cross of this 50 coming back up above this 200 and this 100 as well. And I'm looking at that sometime between August to September. So we could really have that blow off moment. So Bitcoin may continue to bore everyone, just a little bit longer so that the whales can accumulate, which we'll get to in just a minute. But ultimately, as I said, as long as we maintain this upward sloping trend, could we fall and retest this parallel channel? Of course we could, guys. And there's even a potential of retesting the Terra Luna crash, that we had talked about. But I don't think we're going to end up going, necessarily that low. But we'll do, time will tell, obviously. But here is something very, very, very interesting. And of course, guys, by the way, if you want to get those bonuses below, there's $56,000 in bonuses. Check the links below in the description. We have decentralized trading, special limited bonuses, and 8,000 Oh no, I'm sorry, $8 million over on Bybit if you guys are interested. $8 million prize pool. So if you're interested, check that out. But what's crazy is you're seeing this Bitcoin dominance and it's actually starting to stall out. You could see it keeps hitting right here, right here, right here, right here, right around that sort of 49% area. And what's interesting is you're seeing that Bitcoin supply on exchanges continues to move into self-custody. We're seeing the lowest amount of Bitcoin on exchanges since November of 2018. And, people are saying, oh, well, the dominance is falling. What is this going to mean? Well, guys, I'm telling you, if, the dominance is holding steady and they're moving it off exchanges, then I don't think that Bitcoin is necessarily done yet. But I guess you could say it has a little bit of a Bitcoin energy.
Funny, because when we were in prep for this movie, two of our wonderful producers, one of whom is also my husband, when David and Tom would start talking about Bitcoin or something, Greta and I'd be like, they're being such Kens. They'd talk about golf, we're like, stop being Kens. So it's hard to define what makes a Ken, but there can also be big Ken energy, and that's a good thing.
Or as Ryan says, Kenergy.
Kenergy is... It's not something you can define, it's just something you can sense and you know it.
Yeah.
All right, well, we had to have a little bit of fun because, yes, my friends, now we get to talk about our favorite politician, Senator Warren. So, as you can see right here, she has reintroduced a crypto bill with backing from Banking Policy Group. BPI, which represents banking giants like Bank of America and Citibank, said the legislation would defend our nation's financial system against illicit finance in all of its forms. The bill would expand bank secrecy requirements to digital asset wallet providers, miners, validators, and other participants in the crypto market. It would also direct FinCEN to require cryptocurrency ATM operators to regularly submit and update physical addresses of their kiosks that they own and operate. Now, well, actually, some aspects of this bill I can kind of understand. You don't just want to have everybody just running wild, in the streets, just doing whatever. But at the same time, we did just have that victory bill yesterday, or 2 days ago, that said that self-custody Bitcoin in the U.S. is what the people want, right? Now, of course, we have to, the bill has to go up to the next level, because everything takes 100 years to get approved in the U.S., but they are fighting back. There's lots of lawmakers that are fighting back, which we'll get to in a minute. But, I'm going to be honest with you, they feel threatened. This is crazy. So I don't know if you guys have seen Jason Lowry's book. It's called Soft War. I own this book. It's a very, very complicated, in-depth book. So it says a book on strategic significance of Bitcoin has been removed from circulation and the MIT library for unknown reasons. So the book is called Software, a Novel Theory on Power Projection and the National Strategic Significance of Bitcoin. The work, which was presented as a thesis to the System Design and Management program at MIT in February, has additionally been removed from the MIT's library inventory. And he was over on Twitter and he said, for those asking what's been going on, as you guys can see right here, I'll actually show you the actual tweet if you want to see the actual tweet. He says, for those asking what's been going on with me, I was ordered to take software down and asked to stop talking about the subject publicly. Doesn't appear on MIT's library either. Can't talk details, but things are good, and I'm working hard behind the scenes. Appreciate the kind words. And just side note, people are selling this book for over $20,000 now on eBay. Look, 25, 25, 20. So this is pretty insane, guys. I have a copy of this book, by the way. If you guys want to buy my copy for 25 for a Bitcoin, let me know. I've already read the book, so I'm happy to take 25 grand for a book. But basically, getting back to this, haha, all fun and jokes aside, wow, the establishment must be quite scared if a little old book on Bitcoin is really considered a threat. So, this is definitely sending signals. When they're scared of a book on Bitcoin, you know there's a problem, right? And they won't allow them to talk about it. So this is a very interesting thing because we're seeing a mix of negatives and positives. So this was something that actually happened with the SEC. And it says another blow. Now, this isn't crypto, but listen to this very carefully. So they suffered a setback in an attempt to regulate Spike's future. The USDC Court of Appeals overturned the decision, which exempted MIAX, the exchange offering Spike's futures, on the decisions, now listen carefully, that it was arbitrary and disproportionate and lacked adequate explanation. Now listen to this. This decision has relevance regarding the Bitcoin ETFs, in particular the legal battle with Grayscale. Grayscale recently also used the exact terms, arbitrary and disproportionate, in reference to the SEC's conduct in the same vein as the judge in his article. In addition, and here's the kicker, the two out of the three judges in the case that the SEC lost today are also hearing Grayscale's case against the SEC. So you are just seeing lots of these different people stepping up, fighting against it. For example, lawmakers right here probing Apple Store policies on blockchain NFTs. So they wrote this letter and they said basically, there's a pattern in Apple's approach to its App Store guidelines. The company seemingly capitalized on and simultaneously limited the functionality of crypto. They pointed out that Apple achieved this by mandating the release of light versions, which both generated profits for Apple and diminished the overall utility of the application. But as evidence, they specifically mentioned the case of Axie Infinity's App Store experience. And, something that you may even want to consider is the fact that Sam Bankman-Fried is still walking around. However, the Department of Justice has filed a formal submission to a federal judge after declaring their intent to revoke his bond, saying that maybe he should actually be jailed before the trial. So, in a nutshell right here, they're saying that he's trying to influence witness testimonies and his bail conditions are insufficient to protect the public. He also shared diaries of Alameda Research CEO Caroline Ellison with the New York Times, and they're saying that by releasing these writings, this qualifies him as trying to harass her to either prevent or otherwise influence her testimony in court. So again, you are seeing the pushback, right? You are seeing that pushback. And again, getting back to, all of this, the tides are changing. The U.S. realizes that they don't want to get left behind. And don't forget, we have BlackRock potential ETF. We have the interest rates eventually looking to potentially be cut at some point next year. And then also we have the Bitcoin halving effect. So yes, I am expecting a big move. I am expecting some volatility, and I don't think that we're going to be bored for much longer. So that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Hope you're having an awesome day. I'll try to update as much as I possibly can down here. Like I said, the Wi-Fi is absolute garbage, but that being said, I love you guys. You're awesome. If you do want to learn how to trade, make sure you guys check out these tutorials popping up right here, right now. Have an awesome weekend. Until next time, stay crypto, and of course, peace out.